Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna rank NHL teams by how they performed this season. So we got A's and F's, and I'm gonna see which one did. So this video determines on which their expectations. So if the team below the expectations, they're gonna be bad. If they exceeded expectations from the beginning of the year, they're gonna get a high grade. So let's just hop right in this video. Oh yeah, disclaimer: this team right here is the Arizona Coyotes. This is going to be the Utah Hockey Club. I'm just going to put them there. So, anyways, let's just hop in the video with the Ducks. The Ducks were not supposed to be that good this season, but they were like mid, and then they completely give up at the end of the season. Well, they just didn't have any motivation because they got eliminated from the playoffs. So, they tanked for the rest of the season. I'll give them a solid C. So yeah. Then the Boston Bruins, they get an F, bro. In the beginning of the season, if they collapse, I think maybe a D. But after they got with Brad Marchand, it looks like they're trying to tank. So yeah, I'm gonna give them a flat F. Same with Buffalo, man. Buffalo, they started the season pretty well. They were contention to be in the playoffs, but they completely fall apart in December. They were playing better, but yeah, just straight up F for Buffalo. The Calgary Flames, still not supposed to be that good this season, but they did. But they almost made it to the playoffs this year. I'll give them a B. The Flames, they were supposed to be like a mid team, and they had the same points as St. Louis. If St. Louis they went on that 12-game win streak, who knows? Calgary would have probably clinched the playoffs. Who knows? So I'm gonna give the Flames a solid B. The Carolina Hurricanes, I'm gonna give them a B. They were pretty good, and they just exceeded expectations. Nothing really crazy. They're just a good team overall. The Blackhawks, I'm gonna give them a D, cause yeah, they were bad. But do you think the Blackhawks was going to be good this year? I don't think so. With Buffalo, we thought they will take that step forward to go to the playoffs, and same with the Bruins. We thought they were going to be a wild card contender. We all knew that the Blackhawks were going to be bad, so that's why I have them at a D. The Avalanche played pretty well this year. I'll give them an A. Pretty good performance, and they just exceeded their expectations. The Blue Jackets, they also get an A, bro. They were supposed to be once again bad. They had a good storyline, though. They almost made it to the playoffs, but the Montreal Canadiens came along and just, give them, they just took the last wildcard spot. So, yeah. Dallas, I'll give them, A or B. Because the Stars didn't, I think the Stars exceeded expectations, so I'm going to give them an A. The Dallas Stars were pretty good this year. Well, they were really good. They got 50 wins. The end of the season could be questionable, but they probably did play those Stars. I don't know. I didn't watch any Dallas games because I was too busy watching Florida games. So, yeah, Detroit, I'm giving them a D. Now, overall, the season sucked. And then they were in contention for a wild card for a bit, and then fall apart again. So, I'm gonna say, yeah, they were a D team. They're not that good this year. The Oilers, I'll give them a C. They kind of disappointed this year. They started off shitty. They were good mid-season, and after the Four Nations, they completely sucked again, and now they're just mid. So yeah, I have to give the Oilers a C. It was just overall not really a great year for the Oilers, but who knows? They can be good in the playoffs. We don't know. The Florida Panthers, I'll give them a B. Obviously, I think the Panthers overall, to me, they kind of disappointed this season because they could have had 50 wins. I can't really blame them though because the injuries. We still did good without Kachuk, and we still played good without without a lot of good players. But still, Panthers, I'll give them a B. But who knows? The playoffs, you never know. Then we got the Kings. I'll give them a B. They were just mid. They were good in the home. They were good at home. They were just shitty on the road. The Wild, I'm gonna say that was C. The Wild was alright. They started great, and then they completely fall apart again after a shitload of injuries. They still managed to clinch a playoff spot, so I'm gonna say they'll get a C. The Montreal Canadiens get an A. Well, the Canadiens, they started off shitty, and then they became very, very good. At the end of the season and clinched the playoffs. So I will give the Canadiens a C. I mean, an A plus, like an A. They did good after the Full Nations. Then the Nashville Predators, yeah, straight F, bro, just bad. Okay, they could have made it to the playoffs this year. They could have went on the one, but instead, completely failed. Just completely fall apart. The Devils, I'll give them a C. They had a good like year, but like they just injuries. So yeah, the Devils they're all right. They're pretty good though, but disappointing. Well, I can't say disappointing. They're just all right. The Islanders, I'll give them a D. They missed the playoffs, but well, you suspect them, okay? They made a lot of the playoffs. Like, they surprised people for making the playoffs, so what you suspect, but still, just overall, just disappointment. Rangers, they get an F, bro. They were supposed to be one of the best teams in hockey, and instead, they completely disappoint. Now, they were President's Trophy last year, but again, just they completely fall apart. Beginning of the season, they were good. Again, they just completely fall apart at the end of the season. The Ottawa Senators, I'll give them a B. They were pretty good. Well, they were good. And they kind of exceeded expectations. But they were not they were good. They made it to the playoffs. Unfortunately, they made it to the playoffs. And then the Flyers, I'll say they get an F, but it's a failed season from the Flyers. The Flyers will, now I think about it, no, a D, because they're not supposed to be that good anyways, but it completely just blew up in their faces, bro. Pretty bad. The Penguins, again, I'll give them a D. I can't blame them, because they're not supposed to be that good, once again, but they were just bad. Sharks, D, again, just bad. But they're not supposed to be that good this season, so, yeah. The Kraken, I'll give them a D. Again, it's just the fact that they're not that good, and they kind of just failed expectations. So, yeah, the Blues, ooh. So, in the beginning of the season, I think I would have given them a D, maybe a C. And at the end of the season, I would give them an A. So, I'm going to give them a B. The Blues had two different seasons, it felt like. The first half, terrible, or just, mid as fuck. And then at the end of the year, top team in the NHL. And now they'll be. So, yeah, they're good. Tampa Bay Lightning. Probably say they were a B. They just exceeded expectations. They did a little bit better than they were supposed to. I'll give them a B plus for that. But yeah, the Lightning, they're not they're good, but not well, they were good, but better than expectations. It looks like. The Maple Leafs, hate to say it, they're probably getting A. They won the division. We thought the division would go to the Panthers, maybe any other team. But they went to the Maple Leafs. Maple Leafs did pretty good, but who knows? The playoffs, they can probably flop completely. We don't know. But, yeah, I have to give the Maple Leafs the A, unfortunately. The Utah Hockey Club, I'll give them a C. They were good for a first-year hockey team, They almost made it to the playoffs. Unfortunately, they didn't. But, they were a pretty good team for a first year. First year as a team. The Canucks, they won the division and they completely fallen apart. Again, actually, now I think about it, yeah, maybe F. Because they were supposed to be good. They won the division, though, just like the Rangers. They won the division. They didn't win the President's Trophy, but they were one of the best teams in hockey. They choked in the playoffs, and then they completely just fall apart in the season. So, I have to give them an F. The Vegas Golden Knights, they did exceed expectations. I have to give them an A for that. They did pretty good this year, not gonna lie. I don't think they will They were not terrible. They were good. And yeah, in January they had that like one bad stretch, but they made it up, and they just continue to win. The Washington Capitals, once again, they get an A. They were pretty good. They were good for the whole season. And then when Alex Ovechkin was catching up to Wayne Gretzky, I felt like the team just didn't care about winning, and rather they rather get Ovechkin's goal record. But now it's the playoffs. Who knows? They could be good again. And then we got the Winnipeg Jets. They get an A. President's Trophy winners. Great season from the Jets, just from start to finish. Just absolutely great season from the Jets. They were supposed to be like a decent team, but like not like exceeded. They exceeded expectations in this season. So yeah, this is my this is my gradings of each NHL teams by how they performed this season. So hopefully you liked the video, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in another video.